Oh, now it's better. Didn't realize my video was. So Susan is still connecting to audio. She was going to tell me how to let, if people show up, how to let them in and be the whatever person who lets people in.
The waiting room.
Yeah. So
people in the waiting room.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm here a little tiny bit early.
What's the difference between Shutesbury host and Susan?
I don't know. I think one's for video and one's for audio, but I'm not sure.
Isn't Susan the Shutesbury host?
Yes. But I think sometimes she gets the audio through her phone or vice versa. I don't know.
Okay.
Now the host is connecting.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, I just have all these problems when I come on. I don't know why, but Zoom. Okay, Janice, I'm going to share with you. So let's see. I may need to get into participants. Let's see. Make co-host. Yes. You are now the co-host, and you ought to see at the top of your screen a waiting room. Do you see a waiting room at the top of your screen?
I see a view. I see a sign in. I see recording. I do not see a waiting room.
Well, I should be sharing with you.
Hide nod video participants. No, I didn't do anything. I see a gallery of 2. I do not see you, Susan, on it, just me and Joanne. I have no idea what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I don't think you need to, I don't need to screen share for this.
No, I don't.
No, I just have made you co-host. So I would think that at the top of your screen, you ought to see a something that looks like, I don't see it any longer. And I do not know why I don't. I'm sorry. Sometimes, oh boy, Zoom has done something to me that gives me entirely different options. So I may not be able to do this without serious research.
What is this? Oops. I did that. I was looking at these little buttons on my screen, and one, I thought, wonder if that's the waiting room. That I paused the recording, so that was my fault, not knowing what's going on. When I go to view, I see speaker gallery, hide self view, show non-video participants. Oh, admit. Okay, got it. No one's. I just admitted Joanne, or rather Jeanette or somebody.
Jeanette.
Yeah,
Jeanette.
And you don't see the waiting room till someone's in it, and then a little thing pops up that says someone's in the waiting room.
Okay. Are you not seeing me now, just hearing me?
Yes. Now I see you. I do not yet see Jeanette. Although under participants, she's listed, but she just doesn't have her camera on or her mic yet, apparently. Okay, I'm starting to get how this works, sort of. And there she is. So far we've got everybody. We were missing Martha, but now at least I know when she shows up, there should be a little thing on my screen that says someone's in the waiting room. but now we can't hear Susan.
Sorry.
Now we can. I
Before we
can't.
Before we get going, can I just ask if it's at all possible for us to stop a few minutes early? I would be really happy. I have company and she's taking us, me and her cousin, to dinner in Amherst at 7:30.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we
Just-
could, if
just
we had
Give
another
us, let
5
us
minutes.
know.
Okay, I mean, if we stop at 7, that's fine, but it's just, if it's possible to stop, say at 5, that would be lovely.
That would be lovely.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I know Martha's coming because I spoke to her this afternoon, so.
Where are you going to dinner?
Osteria Vespa, and I've never been there.
Oh,
Ah, I've never been either.
I was there pre-COVID. I was there.
Hmm.
What did you think?
The food was good. However, we had a long table of like 12 people, and they completely forgot about me. And everybody
Oh.
else their food and never brought me my order until I finally said, I placed an order too. But that was pre-COVID.
Wow.
So they were eating dessert when I got my entree.
Oh my, that's awful.
It was.
I hope, wow. The server needed no tip.
I can't remember what happened then. This was years ago. So probably different servers, maybe even a different owner. I have no idea.
Well, I will report. Does Jeanette want to be heard?
I said that
Yeah.
to Martha trying to get in, but I told her to try to find the Shutesbury meeting. That's how I got in.
That's the
I
best
sent that
way to-
out to everybody a while ago.
Oh, I
Janice,
didn't-
is she there? There?
No. I mean, I haven't had another notice of someone in the waiting room.
Okay, well, it will take a moment.
Here's my ignorance. Since we're recording, this is Janice speaking. Do we have a quorum?
we must with 4.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Shall we go ahead and add Martha in when she comes?
that's what I was wondering.
Okay. So let's have a roll call vote of those present at 5:37 PM. Bernhard here.
Gray here.
Millinger here.
Stockton here?
Mhm. Okay, and when Martha comes, we'll add her in, okay? Okay, Janice Gray, Susan M, and Jeanette S. Okay, so the first item is are the minutes, and I believe, Susan, we have 3 sets of minutes to approve. Is that correct? August, September, and October?
No, August and October. I think we didn't we approve the September ones at the last meeting? What do the minutes say? Hang on a second.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Why can I not find the
Hi
minutes
again.
printed?
What the minutes say is, Gray here. Minutes of the August 9th meeting were again passed over for consideration at the next meeting.
Calendar meetings, I think it is.
Yeah, the minutes of September were approved at the last meeting.
It's at
It's first item on the agenda. I mean, in minutes, sorry, of October 11th.
Yeah, so just click that.
Okay, so we need to approve the August minutes, right?
We need to approve the August minutes, yeah.
Okay, I move that we approve the August minutes
Second,
as submitted. Roll call vote, Bernhard, aye.
Can we do this with 3 people?
I
Where'd
think
she
so.
go?
3 is a majority of 5.
That should be changed. It should be just
We need
Okay.
4.
So in that case, Gray, aye.
It's not so hard.
Millinger, aye.
Right, but in the end,
I
it
think-
should be in the.
I think she's trying to help Martha get in.
Take a breath. No, there should be a link there.
She just needs to go to the meetings calendar.
Okay.
Assuming that's what.
Bye.
Jeanette,
We
That
need
was
you.
Martha again. She's on her way.
we're having a roll call, we're having a roll call vote to approve the August minutes. And we've all voted. Can you vote?
Stockton, I.
Okay. Is Martha coming in?
Yes, she could not find the link and she finally has it. She should be here any moment. Pop.
Okay, great.
Watching for her.
Okay, why don't we go ahead with, since we're a quorum, let's go
Quorum.
ahead. October minutes.
Okay. Okay. I move that we approve the October minutes as presented by the secretary.
Second that,
Second,
second that motion,
Okay.
Stockton.
roll call vote, Bernhard, aye.
Gray, aye.
Millinger, aye.
Stockton, I.
Okay. Great, moving on.
Thank you all.
I sent you all the, Susan, I don't think you get enough credit for the great work you do on the minutes, and I just really want to thank you. I can't imagine doing what you did.
Yeah.
What
Having-
you do.
Having done it that 1 week or that 1 month, I was
Yes.
like, wow,
Right.
wow. I don't want to do this job. Thank you, Susan.
Oh, thank you very much.
Agreed, Gray. Oh, that's, no. Nope, still no Jeanette.
Martha,
I mean, Martha, I'm sorry.
that's
No.
okay.
She'll get here eventually.
Okay, so let's move, we keep going because we still have the quorum. Sorry, I don't mean to
Okay.
be.
No, let's go. The financial update, I sent you all, I first need to apologize because in the last meeting, I gave confusing figures. And what I needed to do was give you the entire budget picture. That's what I sent out to you now. So we should have an amount left after everything that we anticipate of $2,303.43. So looks like we have some extra things to play with. And part of what we need to do is to think of ways to engage the senior community. Hopefully in either an instructive or a fun way, to get together. And in person, if possible. Because I think the feedback from the smartphone sessions, which Martha will talk about, the people were really happy to get together in person, even though it was, they were very small groups. So just keep that in mind for future ideas that come up.
And if nobody, Gray here, and if nobody saw it because it came just recently, the Council on Aging received a nice email praising that workshop.
Mhm.
And
I did
asking
just-
for more.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
that.
And asking
that
for
was,
more.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm still not seeing Martha.
I'm gonna
Um,
text her and see how it's going.
I'm gonna, did you send her the link, Jeanette?
I didn't, well, I didn't send her the link, but I said it's right on the town website, which is how I just got
It
on.
is,
And it's also
it
on
is
the
on
same,
the,
so also on the sheet with the agenda that went out on Saturday, so I could, that's
Oh,
how I
okay.
get in, so I could email it to her.
Yeah, maybe just email that again.
Okay, let me find,
I would end up knocking you all off the screen if I tried doing that.
no, I got
because,
it on my cell phone. I'm gonna email it. I'm gonna email it to her now. I got it on my cell phone.
okay.
Okay. And that just came on Saturday, that agenda with the Zoom link.
Oh, is that why why the Wednesday agenda was replaced by a later agenda?
What happens is I put the meeting up and put the agenda up. But it starts off without a Zoom link. And later Grace Spanish sends me a Zoom link and then I forward that to everybody. And this one was last Friday that I forwarded. So I just sent it to Martha.
Oh, yeah, there it is, Friday, yeah. My printout says Saturday because that's when
It's when you received it.
or, yeah, I guess, or something, I don't know. Anyway,
But when I went, I mean, I got in on my cell phone by going to the meeting calendars.
oh,
and
here
click-
okay, here she comes.
Yeah,
I just got the notice she was in the waiting room. Don't know how long it
All
takes.
right.
I've admitted her, but I don't know how long it will take to show up. Ah,
I'm here. I'm
There
here.
she is. Yay.
Yay.
Anyhow. I kept getting the message, host is in another meeting. I'm like, what is going on? Sorry.
I don't understand that.
Hi, Martha. Okay, we went ahead a little bit without you. We approved the
Okay, good.
August, October meetings.
Great.
And I had sent out the financial update, the budget figures and what we have anticipated that we will spend and what we have left over. Okay, which, did you receive that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any questions on that, on the financial update? No, then moving along. Okay, the foot care clinic, there was a question that came up. The nurse, Nan, is that her name? I think. Apparently told some people, including Catherine Hilton from the Board of Health, that LifePath clients could have foot care through the same organization, Foot Care by Nurses. And the question was, who would pay for it? Would LifePath pay for it? Would LifePath bill insurance? What would happen? So I called the LifePath or emailed the LifePath people. And it's a complicated answer because first of all, the person has to be a LifePath client, which means they have to have done the intake and have been admitted to the LifePath program. That person then would have a home care coordinator. The home care coordinator for the client would be the one who would refer the client to foot care. Okay. So the client would have to be referred by the home care coordinator. The amount that they would pay, because when people are a member of LifePath, they do pay for services, but they pay on a sliding scale. And apparently they also have an amount that they are set. And if they've used up all their amount with other services, then they are not eligible for foot care to be paid for by LifePath. If they haven't used up all their money, then and have a referral, then they can ask for foot care. So it's kind of complicated. Ours, the foot care that arrangements that the COA has is much more straightforward. We have people call, the Foot Care set up an appointment, tell them that they are part of the Council on Aging in Shutesbury, and then the billing comes to us. Okay, and whatever the clients or the people who receive the Foot Care pay is supplemented. If they don't pay the full amount, the rest of it is supplemented by money from the grant. Okay, is that clear for everybody? Okay, because I was going back and forth with Catherine from the Board of Health on this issue, and we decided to leave it alone because it was more complex than we could deal with.
And it seems
Okay,
like it's
yeah.
such a case by case basis as well. I mean,
It is,
that-
yeah, it is. Yes, Susan?
Yeah, I'm wondering, what do the other towns do who have foot care by nurses? I would be curious to know how they're handling the situation.
Well, I saw the Leverett, I sent you all the Leverett newsletter that I think Elizabeth from Village Neighbors sent to me as an item of interest. And they recommend that people pay, I think it was $45 to $50. They just recommend that amount. And they don't say that their grant, I mean, Leverett has a grant like we have a grant, you know, that their grant will pay for the rest of it. And they also don't say that you can pay nothing. So I don't know exactly how they handle it beyond that.
And they also, I mean, I would have thought they would have said something about life pair clients. Like, wouldn't you, PATH clients, if they were using that?
Do you think we should ask the nurse if she asks people if they're life path clients? I mean, we could do that,
Yeah.
except that when I talked to the Foot Care by Nurses people, she wouldn't give me the contact information for the nurse. So I'm not sure why, but
Why not?
I will, Nan,
yeah.
I will see Nan in December when she comes to me. If you want, and if I'm reminded, I could ask her then, because she told
Okay.
me, and I brought that to you all, I think,
Yes.
in a recent meeting. But because it seems to me, and I think this is what Jeanette was saying, if we have people who are life path clients already, then it's
Mhm.
probably worthwhile for them. But if we don't, it's too complicated.
Mhm. Okay, if you would do that, Susan, that would be great.
Okay, but I will probably need reminding me.
Okay, I'll try and remind.
This is Janice.
Okay, no, put yourself, remind Susan.
I am looking at the that Village Neighbors newsletter, and I'm not seeing anything about foot care on it at all. So I'm missing
No,
something.
no, it was
Yeah,
the Leverett
Leverett.
Council on Aging.
Oh, okay. Maybe I
I-
didn't file it.
I
I
forwarded
apologize. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. That Elizabeth sent it and said,
Yes,
yeah. Okay. I was looking at the wrong file, and I apologize for that. I'll do my homework after the meeting.
okay, so the smartphone program was great. Martha, you want to fill us in?
Sure, we had, it was Wednesday, October 25th, and the instructor came out, Barbara Friedman from Westminster, and she was very organized. She had snacks and
Mm.
she had little cards that they look like little like paddles you hold up and auction. She wrote everyone's name on them. She says those work much better than tags, and I agree. So and there were 5 people at the morning, and I think there were 5 or 6 in the afternoon. And people initially were rather hesitant, but I talked to people after each group, and they certainly felt more comfortable using the phone. What she did was she spent a lot of time in the first session just going through settings. So teaching people how to turn down the brightness on their phone to be able to preserve battery, and how to use the SOS, which is if you're in an area. So it comes up, SOS will come up when you go to shut off your phone. At the top of your phone for an iPhone, it says, slide this to shut off, but it says below it SOS, and you can hit that for emergency response. So she went through lots of things and people felt more comfortable afterwards. And then she stayed, questions were answered at the end, and she helped people hitch their phone to their, Mac computer. So overall, I think it was well received. And I created a survey this afternoon to assess people's interest in whether they would want to follow up, whether they found it effective, and if they had any other ideas for future programming and the effectiveness of Barbara as an instructor. So the plan is we'll send that out to all the people that had attended the program.
Mhm. Right, and we hopefully will get some good feedback on where to go next.
Right, hopefully people, yes, so. And has the check been cut for her?
I sent the warrant to Gail Weiss, the town accountant.
Oh, good, and we don't
And-
have to
and-
follow.
No, and Martha and I sent a thank you letter to Barbara. So mission
You were done.
accomplished. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the peace of mind binder. Martha?
Right, so I have questions from last month that I will work on, and the plan is for the next meeting, I will answer those questions and send responses and send an updated version of the emergency binder that we can review and discuss at next month's meeting.
Okay. Any comments, questions on that? Nope. Okay. So programming ideas. Martha and I at some point were discussing how to get our seniors out of their houses and to some kind of activities that would be interesting and fun. So I know bingo was on the list, and I don't know if anything has come of that or if any research has been done on that.
No, I haven't done. So this is Susan. I think I was the one that was tasked with doing this, or maybe I volunteered. I think I've already told you that I looked into it, and the information that's available online doesn't really seem to apply to us, which means I need to contact the Attorney General's office and see if I can get something that's more specifically addressed to Shutesbury's situation, because what they talk about online is you have to pay a substantial amount to license running games during a year. We're not doing that. We're just talking about one, maybe two. So, and I'm sorry, but that hasn't been a high priority for me. If somebody else wants to take it on, that's welcome to.
How about an old movie and ice cream sundaes?
That sounds fun. The senior lounge in town hall is still filled with boxes. And so that room is not really usable. I guess the main room where we had the smartphone project could be used for that. It's just such an unfriendly space. Does anyone know about the AC, about how to, I mean, I know that they're open in the evenings, but would they be open in the afternoon, or could we ask them to be open in the afternoon?
Yeah, they tend to be
Um,
very, very accommodating. And but they open, they don't open, I mean, they open in the afternoon. They don't open at like 6 or something. So, or even, you know, they have events even during the week. They have like a Thursday night dinner that's quite good.
mhm.
We could think about, I wonder if we could subsidize it one week. It's not expensive at all. And that might get some people out. You know, she does a sliding scale of like $8, $10 for
Uh-huh.
dinner.
Who
It
is,
might be
who,
worth it.
is it one person who does it?
It's on Thursday nights. It's one person who usually does it, a young woman from the area, Jen, Boron. I'm not exactly how to say her name, Baron. I think she grew up here. And she had cooked for us for our village neighbors spring event and did a great job.
Uh-huh.
But I mean,
Mhm.
it happens every Thursday night usually, and then Tuesday night they have, not that I go to all of these things. I sound like I'm never home, but Tuesday they have like taco night. You know, we could see if we could retain her for another night of the week and just do a dinner.
Right
I
here.
think that's a great idea.
If,
Yeah.
if we did that, would we need to have people sign up in advance? So she'd have any idea how much to make? It just occurred to me, that's all.
Yeah, that's always the issue. I mean, we have that problem with village neighbors all the time. Just
Mhm.
it gets so sticky getting RSVPs and everything else. Like those 4 letters to me are as bad as other words that are spelled with 4 letters. Yeah. I mean, maybe it could be something a little more cash that, you know, not a huge expenditure, and maybe ask people to RSVP, especially this time of
Mhm.
year. You know, if people are alone, this time of year is even more lonely, don't you think?
Mhm. Do you think, there's also a food truck, right?
Yes,
That comes.
yes,
I don't know anything more about it than that they come, but
right.
is that,
They're on a schedule, and it's a
um,
couple from the area. Um,
mhm.
so, and I went by, when were they there? I think Friday night or Saturday night. It was starting to, yeah, and I was like worried there'd be nobody there, and that outside area was full.
Mm, mhm.
He's a chef. And I think this is kind of a new venture. He's been cooking at I think Deerfield Academy for years and years. And they're just lovely people.
Mhm. And what kind of charges do they have?
That I do not know. I know what Jen does. Again, I think it's between like $7 and $10 unless she has something ultra special.
Mhm.
And then the guy who runs the SAC, Mark, his last name starts with an O, a Slowski, but I'm
Old
worrying, I'm butchering it. He also
Olszewski, I
sometimes
think.
does a burger night that's phenomenal.
He does what?
He does a burger night.
Uh-huh.
I try not to eat them too often, but they're worth eating. So that could be another
Mhm.
option.
Is it a Sofsky?
I believe so. Yeah.
So
So
would
I'm,
the
Susan's
idea,
been trying to say something for a while and I'll shut up and let her say it.
so would there be, is the idea that there would be a program associated with the meal? Or just a meal that we would be encouraging people to come to?
Well, I'm learning to play the accordion and I'm getting better and better. Maybe we could all sing.
Well, I was wondering if we could do a sing along.
You know,
Do you think Do you think people would do that? I
you
was
know what?
I was talking to my husband about it and I was actually thinking about probably my husband's parents who were great musicians and they loved singing and all that. And I said, well, we could get seniors and we could sing all these old songs. And he said, wait a minute, we are old seniors and you'd be talking about Bob Dylan. So, so I don't know. You think people would come and sing? I mean, have dinner, we could do dinner and then an after dinner program.
One never knows until
Um,
you try.
Yeah. I wonder if we could get Gus to come play.
Yes.
He's a musician in the area, and he's the one that organizes he's also known as help me out, Jeanette.
Well, he has like 3 or 4 different bands.
Yeah.
He's been helping me a little bit with my accordion. He plays the accordion and he does. He has 3 or 4 different groups. And I mean, they play on Friday nights and all they put out a jar. It's not like they're getting paid. And he did a spot for Village Neighbors 2 years ago, and we just gave him our small I don't know what the word is. Honorarium. I almost said moratorium. Honorarium.
He organizes
So-
the music at the Leverett Co-op every Friday night. Craig Holland. He's a Gypsy Ramblers. They played for years at the Black Sheep on Sundays. But maybe has some maybe he'd be willing to play and we could get people out for a meal.
Yeah. He has a little French group. And I'm learning some of the music that he plays. I'm serious. If he's playing, I'm playing. I can get in touch
That
with
would be
him.
great.
I think he would love to
Okay.
do it. He lives to play music.
Susan?
Well, 2 things. It does cost money to use the AC for an event.
Very little.
And well, I think I was told $100.
Well, last time I did it, which was for my husband's 70th birthday, it was $50 if you join the AC, you pay $50 and you get 1 rental free. But I know Marianne uses the AC quite a bit, and I don't know. I can ask her what the
Well,
deal is.
I think the
Yeah.
thing to do is ask the AC. They are willing to give discounts to a group that's going to be, I think, reappearing. So that would look into. But I happen to know, because I paid for it, that now if you want a free event, you pay $100 as a member.
Okay.
You
I
get
know-
one
I
event.
know group, it might be 100. I don't know if it's for the individual, because we joined it as Village Neighbors and then you get 1 free event. I wonder, what about doing something with Village Neighbors, and then you could use our
Mail list.
that'll get sticky. Just delete that.
And I'm gonna be a wet blanket. This is Gray here. Just because I'm hyper conscious of it. We started off talking about a movie night, singing, elderly people singing indoors with COVID numbers, at least maybe on the rise in this area. They dropped a bit. Makes me nervous. That's all.
Well, maybe
Okay.
instead we listen and don't sing this time.
But yes, she's concerned about overall exposure.
Yes, I'm not talking about myself.
Right.
Okay, so that would mean not being in the AC.
No,
Especially
really. I mean,
in
why
winter.
we began by talking about old movies and ice cream, and
Right.
now it's turned into this music thing, and maybe people singing, and that's a different scenario, and both could be in the AC.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The-
You know, seriously, this is Susan. We really need to get town hall cleared to clear the boxes out of that room. That's supposed to be the senior lounge, for Pete's sake.
Mhm.
And they really, I don't know what it's going to take for us to convince them to let us have that space back again. Maybe if we
Mhm.
told them we needed to use it, they would clear it.
Or if we all go there with hammers and pails and loud voices and
Not going to help us move boxes though. I mean, because we don't know where the boxes would go.
well, maybe they get put in the other room and then they have to deal with them.
Yeah, got to be a
There's
little more.
there's a lot there's a lot more being stored in the senior lounge beyond the boxes. There's about 7 years worth of water cooler bottles,
Oh my
the
lord.
big ones
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
it's
yeah.
there.
crazy.
It's full
Well-
of that. And yeah, well, I'll talk to Becky about that. Okay,
Oh,
and see
Be
what's
helpful.
going on with
Yeah,
all that stuff, because we would like to get back in there. Yeah.
and she'll have a little more time now that all of her time is not spent over here at the dam because it's almost done. Next week
Yes. Good. Mhm.
will be a
Great.
magic moment.
So thinking of seniors, and we're all seniors, would it be better to do something during like an evening dinner or an afternoon thing or a noon thing? I'm wondering, Martha.
I wonder if people would feel more comfortable driving during the daylight.
Mhm.
Because I know as I get older, I'm not a fan of driving at night, and especially, on these roads. And so
Mhm.
I'll take on talking to the SAC and finding out, you know, if we join, maybe a couple of us uh, join. And I thought
Well,
it was free to join, but let me find out what it's going to cost us to use it and whether they would consider giving us a reduced rate. And
well, the COA can join. I mean,
oh,
and
okay,
we have
yeah,
the money to do that. I mean,
okay,
that's not a real problem.
all right. I mean,
I think figuring
yeah,
out what we want to do is, you're right, Martha, driving in the evening, driving after dark could be problematic. So, what kind of programming would work during the day or like for a lunch kind of thing?
maybe
Um,
luncheon. Yeah, I mean, we can. If Jeanette wants to work with me, we could see if we can get um, Gus and see if we can get some music. Maybe we could do a lunch and some music and see if we could, uh, get people to do that. And then
mhm.
I don't know, can we surreptitiously send out? Well, we could plan it so that the Gazette maybe goes out in January. Maybe we're talking maybe, but we have a list already, right? That we could notify. Do we have email? We don't have any email for
No.
senior. Okay.
And this is a major problem, that we do not have an email list. And many times we've asked people to give us their email addresses, and I think we got 3 or 4.
Okay.
So I don't know how to proceed with an email list.
Is
Yeah.
there the possibility that we just use like the town, I want to call it the alert, even though it's not to alert necessarily, but to just kind of say this is happening? And if you're 40, you can't come, and if you're 20, you can't come, but if you're 60 and over, you can. Makes it very exclusive.
Well, very, but people could also have family members bringing them if,
Mhm.
I wouldn't check their
Right.
IDs at the door. Especially if people need drivers.
Mm.
Um,
Hmm.
okay. So we need to check with the AC about what it would cost to do programming. We need to think about something during the day and ask about music happening and maybe see if the food truck would come for something like that. And if I'm just thinking out loud here, if we ask people to pay a nominal amount, like $3 or $4 or something, and then we would subsidize the rest. Just to get people out doing something fun.
Do you, is your preference the food truck? Because I would think that that would be, I think they would probably be less likely to come out when they don't know how many people are coming, because it probably is more costly for them. Whereas this young woman can whip up a wonderful dinner right in the SAC kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right, well, Martha, let's say we're going to talk about this and move on.
Okay,
Susan?
I'd like to suggest we think about, I'm not saying that the entertainment is not a great idea. I particularly personally like the old movie. But good for us. We had when we had speakers and a meal, and the topic was hospice-like care. And I think it's time to think about dementia friendliness and whether we want to do something in this community, whether we want to push more in the direction of doing something to be dementia friendly. And a dementia might pull some people out.
That seems to me to be more like a program, where you would invite people to come, not as much of a food and fun thing as a program that people would come to for information.
What we've had proven success with, we had a meal and we had an excellent program and we got a lot of people out. I'm just worried about how many people we would get out for a food event. If we were doing a movie and something fairly limited for food, like the ice cream sundae, that wouldn't put us in the hole if only 10 people came out.
Do you envision that happening during the day?
Yes, in the afternoon.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have several really good ideas, I think. Maybe each of us could take one idea and work on it. Or two of us together. If Jeanette and Martha want to work on the music idea, Susan, I can work with you on the movie idea.
I think first, before we do anything more, we need to find out about what the situation would be in terms of using the AC space, in terms of availability in an afternoon.
Well, that would be part of figuring that out with Martha.
Yeah, if you two could report back on that, then we could think further about our options. Does that not
makes sense? Yeah, I think I like that the dementia piece, because it's certainly it's an issue, and it's there's lots of that information on all the information that we're getting, and communities are becoming dementia friendly. Jeanette and I are going to the review of the it's in Greenfield, it's at the senior center, and it's a review of the it's a report on how communities can be dementia friendly. So
Janice speaking quickly, this is different from the follow-up to the age-friendly. There's a thing happening next Wednesday that we just got an email about at the John Oliver Center. That's not the same thing.
the one that let me see if it's,
It's the 16th, the one that
Yeah.
we're going to.
I don't think it's at the senior center. I think it's at the John Alver Center. Cause I was thinking of going to that myself.
But I think it's
I added that to
Thursday.
the unanticipated items thing.
Yeah.
all right.
I'd also like, while I've got your attention, cause I'm kind of barging ahead here, is if you're talking to the AC, do they have a screen big enough to project a movie onto, or however you want it even does that these days? I don't know.
Hmm.
So,
Um,
thought,
I mean, we could start small and just do the movie and the ice cream and see who turns out, and we could do it in town in the basement, even though it's not the nicest place, but it's there and it's free, and then see what kind of response we get and then move from there.
Sounds good.
I think also, Susan, when you had formerly, when you had the hospice meeting, was
Yeah.
that provided by LifePath?
No, there was, I don't believe it was LifePath. I think it was some nurses, 2 nurses came over who were involved in the program from Cooley Dick, actually.
Oh, okay.
And we
Um,
have through Village Neighbors, we have a one of our well, kind of a board member, but not really. She is very, very well versed in this whole dementia age-friendly push. Susan's Nancy Spittle.
Yeah.
And probably would be willing to come and speak to it, or some of the people that we've been working with at LifePath. I mean, they have a lot of workshops on this that are even recorded, that one can watch.
Good suggestions.
Okay, so how are we going to follow up?
I'm going to the SAC. And,
Okay,
I mean, if, I'm happy to, I don't think 2 of us need to do the music. Jeanette, you could do that. I'm happy to,
Yeah.
look at, presenters too for dementia.
Yeah,
Martha,
I'll ask
if-
Joanne, I'll ask Becky about the boxes and see what I think that the larger room at Town Hall would be available to us.
Yeah. It simply has to be with the, debacle they've created of not even being able to get into our senior center.
Yeah.
So, Martha, I was just going to say to you that rather than going to the SAC when there might not be anybody there, you might want to just look up this guy, Mark, whatever his name was. I mean, he's on email and is very responsive, but I'm pretty sure, unless it's changed drastically, which I can't understand why it would have, it's $100 for a group to join, and then they get a free event.
Okay, all right. But I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, I'll definitely look into the SAC, but it may help to start small in the town hall room. With something, I mean, we could do, something pertinent to dementia. Maybe a lunch. Okay.
Some of us had experience with potluck lunch at the town hall. I did. Am I the only one in this group who know? Janice did. Those were not well attended by seniors. It was a lot of folks from town hall and a handful of same seniors who came every time, pretty much. And it was a good event for those of us who came, but it sure wasn't. There wasn't a big pull. It wasn't a big attraction to the senior community in Shutesbury, and I worry about it putting it any other place and getting a good turnout, unless there's a particularly attractive program associated with the food.
Okay, yeah, so maybe we'll just, we'll start simple and just offer a program and see if that brings people out. I mean, for the phone, it was limited to 6 people. We had 5 for one session, we had 8 for another, and 2 people didn't show up. So, they're not beating down the doors.
Mhm. Okay,
I'll
well,
look at
let me follow up, trying to get the boxes out of the room. Okay. I also think, for now, the idea of a potluck is maybe not such a good idea because you just people don't know how food is being prepared, and
I'm not suggesting that.
no, I know that it was what happened before.
But no, you're
Yeah,
right.
so some kind of program with maybe with either
Something
I don't know,
casual.
cinnamon donuts or something small, or ice cream sundae, or something small.
Desserts, pies, something like that. These nice pump
Yeah.
bulb.
Yeah, okay.
Cider and donuts.
Cider and donuts is a fall thing. I don't know when something happens in January, what is it? I don't know that ice cream would go over at that point, but something warm.
hot
But we
chocolate.
can decide that later.
Yeah.
Let's get the program idea down first. Okay.
So what exactly I understand that Joanne, you're going to be working to see if we can get some access to the senior lounge. And Martha's going to be
Yes.
the possible presenters for to the dementia unit. And Martha, are you also the one who's looking into using the AC?
I will. I mean, just for future information, but I think, my vote at this point is I'll find out what the SAC has to say, but maybe we should just see what kind of people, the numbers we even draw out for a town hall. A program.
Okay.
For the record, on Thursday nights, there's on the Thursday night dinner, every week, there's at least 15 women over the age of 60 who meet there regularly, and have dinner. So. And,
Yes.
and many other, I see other people, up at the bar.
Mhm.
Right. But I mean, they're also there for dinner and drinks, so I don't know.
Sure.
No, yeah.
Yeah, the 15 are there for their own event, their own program, as it were.
They are, but I'm just saying that people are getting out if they want to.
Mhm.
And sometimes I would get frustrated with that other organization that I'm a part of, where you're, creating a wheel that nobody wants to turn. And it's so much effort. So I agree, start it small, do a movie, do some ice cream, see what happens.
Mhm.
And if
Okay.
it's cold, instead of ice cream,
Right.
you could make popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Okay.
think be allowed to use the stove in the kitchen in town hall and just have a big pot with popcorn. I mean, I popped my own popcorn the other night. It was fine. I think we'd be
Mhm.
allowed to do that.
Okay, I think I'll try and follow up with LifePath a little bit, and because LifePath also, I think, has presenters that come out. And talking about the dementia aspect of it, they are very, very active with that. And also there's this new program that LifePath is putting together for caregivers of people with dementia, which might be a draw. So I'll follow up with LifePath on that.
Okay. There's a,
And
there's,
Susan, if you would think of good movies, Susan.
I don't know. I mean, everybody knows that if you look at the Virginia, Village Neighbors, most recent newsletter, I think Wendell Library is showing movies, and it didn't
Mhm.
really to me, but I'm wondering how good the turnout is. Do you have any idea about that, Jeanette? How good their turnout is?
I know that Miriam was complaining to me recently that it's very hard to get, I'm doing some workshops for her and she's like, you just never know what's going
Mhm.
to attract people, and thus, you know, that phrase, have it and maybe they will come and maybe they won't, but at least you did it, at least you tried.
Yeah.
I could ask her though.
Mhm.
So I would have to think about movies to suggest. I think if everybody could think about movies to suggest, it would be useful.
Mhm.
Rear Window.
I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Musicals. Too.
Musical.
Musical. Singing in the rain.
I think,
Okay, well,
Oh,
we'll
South,
keep working on it. What?
South Pacific.
Everybody's favorite, right? Okay, we'll keep working on this.
Yeah.
is there an
Um,
elect,
Yeah,
is that Martha, is there a way to attach a DVR or whatever you call that thing to the setup at town hall? You know, how do we run the movie within town, at town hall?
I think we
Mhm.
have, and I think Marianne in times past has shown or visuals have
Mhm.
been,
Okay,
Well, they
That's
have
right.
that the big screen, the huge screen that's, that Barbara used for for her thing and that people use for Zoom meetings, I think.
right. Yeah, they could just download it onto the onto a computer and run it off that. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, movie night coming up. Um, let's see, the next item is Gazette. And I think I was talking to Martha about that earlier. The production of the Gazette is quite complex. Because of the listing of people. We have beyond what we're putting in it, the articles that we're putting in it. We have to get Grace to run the town listing of everyone 55 and older, which is easy for her to do. She does it by dates, birth date, years that people were born. Okay. But what happens is it comes out with a list of last time when Linda and I did it, it came out with a list of about 700 people. A lot of those people were, well, some of them were not in Shutesbury anymore, but we don't know that. Some of them were single people that were actually couples because people tend not to use a married name as much, so you can't necessarily pair people together, except for people who know that these people are a couple. And we were trying not to send individual things to 700 people. So it takes a long time to go through the listing and come up with a list of names and addresses that then get sent in a specific format to the person, the operation that prints the actual newsletter and then does the mailing. Linda was going to write all this up, and she said she would do it once she got established in Washington because it's all in her head. So I will follow up with her and ask her to see if she can get on writing up the instructions for this. Okay. So that's the technical part. And then we have the articles, the items that we want to put in it. So I don't even know if January is possible for this. It may be February before we get it all, before the mailing labels and all that stuff happens. Janice?
All right, there's a large bug, I think a stink bug on my desk and startled me.
Mm.
What I was gonna ask is, oh, my problem is I'm confusing my different newsletters and I don't like the bug. Sorry. Anyway, one of the things we had last year was Sand for Seniors, and it's not on our website now. I, by the way, did redo the tab thing. I sent that out and got one comment from one of you and changed it. But I don't know if what other articles would be in the Gazette. We'd hope to have
Mhm.
something from the police chief. She hasn't. I thought someone was going to follow up. Maybe it was supposed to be me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it was me and I forgot.
Okay.
This is
Um,
Joanne.
I'm
Mea
forgetting
culpa.
enough stuff now that I assume it's me. So I liked the idea of a January Gazette because we wouldn't have the R Town ready by then. It wouldn't clash
Mm.
with it. But I don't know what else would be in the Gazette.
I think, Jeanette, did you have?
Well, I was just gonna ask you about the meeting that we're in on Monday, with Lynn Feldman and the emergency response stuff. You're in that meeting, aren't you, with, I think some of the village neighbors people, and we were trying to get the fire emergency
I don't
response
know
people.
who of us you are asking the question.
Joanne, I said Joanne.
I'm sorry, say again.
On Monday, this coming Monday, we're meeting, and I thought you were on
Oh,
that as well.
I am.
Perhaps that could be a start to this whole concept of emergency responders, how they can be here for our seniors when needed, whether it's sand or whether it's all the things that people need. I think we should hold it as an idea.
Okay,
Um,
there's that. I think there was also an idea of interviewing the nurse.
mm,
And there's the peace of mind binder, if we can all work on that and get it finalized. And we could advertise the movie night. Again, everything kind of sticks with the Gazette is the only thing that goes out to everybody. The trying to get an email list, is just it. I keep sticking on that. Well, we can keep asking.
Janice here. I don't think that late January is unreasonable. I think early January is unreasonable, but I think something could be put together by the end of January.
Okay.
What else could go into it? And the other thing is, this is kind of merging into another topic, but there is that sort of part 2 of the age-friendly thing that you two were talking about going to next Wednesday. And I was thinking of it, but I'd be very relieved not to. I don't know if there could be a little follow-up piece on that, like, okay, so we had this thing, and what about the transportation stuff? But that's also for maybe our town later on. I'm just brainstorming.
Okay.
Not brainstorming terribly well, so.
Martha?
We had also talked about possibly interviewing people in town hall, like maybe Grace or
Yeah.
Becky. I'm happy to interview the nurse.
I think it's more effective. This is Susan. I think it's more effective if we have one interview per Gazette.
Mm.
And another nurse we could interview is the foot care nurse. Although
That's a
she
good
does
idea.
She doesn't affect as many people, but maybe she might get more business if people knew more about the service.
Right.
I would think we ought to have something about what's our plans or what's going on in the wider community about dementia. It might be about life paths offerings. Because how our seniors pay attention to life paths newsletter or their website. So I think what they're doing could be re-advertised by us.
Mhm.
And I'm willing to like dig in there and put something together. That'd be easy enough to do.
And they would probably be very helpful offering up their services, even if we've had people, I don't know if we've had people from LifePath, but we've had people from like the attorneys, the local attorneys office coming and saying how they help seniors. They come to Village
Mhm.
Neighbors meetings, even just for a little bit and talk about what they can do. I think LifePath would be very, very, very willing to do that. And they probably have written material already that we can just pop in there.
Well, I'm thinking that the website is the place to do that.
Yep.
Mhm.
But it could be like highlight on health and things like that.
Highlight health or
Mhm.
help.
Health for health. Say that 5 times fast.
Okay.
What
Okay.
about what Village Neighbors doing? Because maybe to talk up Village Neighbors to our readers. If about some of the services that Village Neighbors is offering.
That would be wonderful. I noticed in I think it was the latest, was it Gazette or was something we didn't even get mentioned when it came to like services that we have in town. And
I think you're thinking of the resource director.
Perhaps.
And Joanne or you or someone noticed that all it mentions that we do is a community lunch. Came up last time.
Right, which we don't even do anymore, but
Right.
Village Neighbors wasn't mentioned, I don't think at all. So I think that would be a super idea. Because we should be symbiotic.
Yep.
Okay. So for our next meeting in December, can we come up with a list of articles for the Gazette?
I would appreciate that because I'm already getting a little lost.
Also,
Okay. And I just, sorry.
I was going to say we could also volunteer who's going to do them, so it's not all laid on Janice. I mean,
Well-
Martha's.
I'll do the nurse. I'll
Okay.
interview the nurse.
And what about the foot care nurse? Would we do that one as well?
I would think later issue maybe.
Okay. All right.
Do you
Okay.
want to do both?
I
don't
think
know.
it would make sense to do both, because otherwise people are going to be confused. Like, I thought there was already an article about the nurse. I would do them both in one.
Okay.
And then if we do a piece on dementia and get life path involved, and maybe we could make it about dementia and just see what we could highlight Village Neighbors and what kind of information that we just had a talk on it about a month or two ago, right, Martha?
Mhm.
We have a specialist right on our team, so we could maybe put something in about that, and that's getting all of our resources out there.
Okay.
So you're gonna go for that one.
In order.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I could work on that one. And we
In
could,
order to,
sorry. We
in
could
order to stop, to close a little earlier for Susan, can we go to unanticipated topics? because Janice I think did a lot of work on the website. Um, and it would be good to talk about that a little bit. Um,
Right.
Janice, I looked at it this afternoon and I thought you did a great job of reorganizing some things, and the tabs are up at the top, right? And
Yes,
so I really appreciate what you did with that.
thank you. That was Gray speaking. I
Has
keep,
anyone else had a chance? Anyone else had a chance to look at it? Not Susan?
I did, and I responded to Janice about it. I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of work,
I'm sure it was.
more than I anticipated.
Did you do the tabs, or did
Well,
did
the
Gail do it
tabs
for
were,
you?
the tabs were created by Gail Fleischiger. We
Mhm.
couldn't do like 9 was too many, 8 was too many. We tried to kind of consolidate those that made sense going together. So we have, I don't know, we have health and something. I can't remember now what we did. Um, but but she just made, what she basically made is a page that the tab takes you to a blank page, which then I had to fill with a copy.
Mhm.
So that's how it physically worked. I wasn't sure the time
Mhm.
either, how it was going to go.
Okay. And so Village Neighbors is on the website,
Oh, yes.
on the front
Is it,
on the
well,
front page.
and actually what it is, and we talked about this last meeting, I believe. Like, for example, Village Neighbors isn't a council on aging program, so it's just, it's listed separately with a little line around it. But if you go to the tabs, Village Neighbors shows up repeatedly in the different tabs, depending on what we're talking about.
Mhm.
But I cannot spit back to you every single topic in there because I don't remember. And, that's why I sent you guys the link.
Right.
Right. Well, I know it's in transportation because that was one of the tabs, was transportation,
And I
and
think
it was in there.
housing possibly was one
Right.
of them. I don't remember, but there are multiple places where you can find the same organization, Life Path or Village Neighbors or whatever.
Mhm.
Right.
The one thing I was wondering about, Jen, is the life path that's on the front page. There's life path, and then let's see if I can remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember, and I don't know how to screen share. But there were a couple of topics. There were a couple of topics that on the front page, there's life path, and then there are a couple of topics that relate to life path, but they're listed separately. And I was wondering about putting them like a bulleted point underneath the entry for life path, rather than having them listed separately. If I could only remember what they are. Do you know, can you remember,
Okay,
Janice?
the old Life Path services talked about the Silver Line and getting the resource that doesn't list us except for doing meals. Home sharing, that actually all was a bulleted list. And I was told
Mhm.
the last meeting, like group home share and other things together. And so home modification can go under housing, home share can go under housing.
Mhm.
Things like there was some kind of, I can't remember now what's under there, but the idea was to try to make the home page for the Council on Aging not be as cluttered with long lists of things, and they could go to the tabs to find them.
Mhm. Right. It's just that life path has so many things
And
on offer.
and we do have a link to Life Path, so people can
Okay.
go there to see
Yeah.
what's there. We do not have a special separate tab for Life Path, but we have a listing for it that has the link in it.
Right, the very top of the at the very top of the first page. So, I'm looking at it now. I don't mean to be dense. So it lists we had talked about like transportation, health, and I don't see those tabs there. This is great, Janice. It's great.
Okay, there's a tab that says transportation.
It's at the top,
Oh, wait a minute.
at the very top.
Okay. All right. I think I'm computer challenged today. Sorry. All right.
That would be me every day, right?
Well, as I said last time, this is a work in progress.
It is. This is great.
Mhm.
It's much,
This was
much.
the first try at it. And I only had one response when I sent it out on whatever day I sent it out on. But it wasn't on the agenda, and we can talk about this later. It's not going to be the end of the world if it's not perfect now.
Mhm. Okay, so yes,
I was just gonna say, maybe we could highlight the work Janice has done with regards to all of the health opportunities that we have on our website, all the places that people can go to for health, with their health, in that article. I made a whole list of the things that we talked about, so I'll type these up tomorrow and send them out. Yeah,
Gazette now?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about the Gazette now?
I'm talking about the Gazette, yes.
Oh.
But with regards to the website.
I'm lost.
okay,
Are you saying in
okay, so
to ask people to go to the website?
I'm saying that the Gazette could say, look at our fantastic website at some point, which has so much information
Okay, got it.
that
All
you
right.
can use for health.
Thank you. I
Right.
misunderstood.
good idea. Yeah,
Great.
okay. Anything else on the unanticipated topics?
No, Susan, no, but I will volunteer to interview the foot care nurse.
Thank you. If you all still have that the piece that I forwarded to you that Elizabeth forwarded to me from Leverett, from the Leverett COA, if you would take a look at that again, because I think at the very bottom, they have received a $25,000 grant from MCOA for a what was it? It was like services navigator or something like that. I think it's someone to pull together services for seniors. And the grant applications come up regularly. The latest one is in a week or so, and we could never, pull something together by then. But we could
Last
really
week.
think about what we would ask for. And I know transportation is a big piece of that too. And we definitely can work on that piece. And I know that Elizabeth is probably going to try to get something in there, but there are different sources. There's the MCOA and there's there's another source for transportation grants. I can't remember where it comes from, but it's from a different place. A community transit grants from the state, I think, not from MCOA. And to think about what we would like to do if we could get a proposal together. for some services. And again, I think this all comes together with the idea of reaching seniors and getting email addresses and, you know, how we can communicate better with people in Shutesbury about some of these services. So if you wouldn't mind, if it's in your minds now, that's great. If not, if you just take another look at it and see what you think.
Yeah,
Gray here, I just found it. I had not filed it into my folder. It was sent out. I could just send it to all of you if you like, rather
Okay.
than try to give the 'cause from Elizabeth. Anyway, I have it.
yeah, they were due, I
Okay.
think, on the 18th of October, but I happen to notice there's one that you can get a $25,000 grant to fix up your senior center. So that might be one we want to do. That would get that thing cleared out.
Yeah, really. Build a shed, right?
Is-
Actually, the former recycling shed, which was at the school, which was somehow built disastrously, was taken over by the Board of Health, I believe, for storage. And I think the Board of Health was going to share it with the library for storage.
Hmm.
And I haven't seen it around. I don't know what's going on with that. But if nothing's in it, if it's over at Town Hall and nothing's in it, maybe all those boxes could go in it that are now in the senior lounge. Be interesting to find out. Martha?
I mean, I'm happy to talk to whomever has those boxes. Is it the chief of police that got all those car seats?
The thing that comes up though is that once we insist that it's clearing, we clear it out, we make a lot of noise, we protest, we move all the boxes. What are we going to do with it? You know, if we should see if we can get people out once or twice and see if there's really call, because otherwise it's just
Well, we
being
can,
bitter.
we can move the
Mm.
foot care back in there.
Yeah,
We can do there.
Mhm.
But
that is
right.
true.
you're right, Jeanette.
Mhm.
We shouldn't ask them
Yeah.
to do it out unless we plan to use it. You're right.
Right. Well, I used to go to the Wendell Library in that nice room that they have there for Healthy Bones and Balance, which was taught by one of the librarians, I think. Rose, was that her name in Wendell? Which was really great. It was a small group. It was a chair thing, you know, so people were not us old folks were not falling all over ourselves. I think the library equipment is probably still in there, right? All the hand weights and things like that are in there. And it was, you know, it was during the day. And a very good program for seniors.
Yeah, I used to teach the chair yoga for Marianne, and we had three seniors who would come every week for the chair yoga, and she just couldn't
Mhm.
sustain it with such a small group. But I mean, that would be a beautiful thing to have in that room, and
Mhm.
you know, get that started again.
Okay. Well, I'll go talk to Becky and see if I can figure out what's going on, or the chief of police. Yeah. So, Susan,
Yes, ma'am.
shall we end the meeting
It would
so
be
you
one
can get on with your life?
if you would. I
Can we have
appreciate
a motion to adjourn?
it. So move.
Second,
Okay, so we have a motion to adjourn at 6:57 PM.
We need to vote
Roll
on.
call vote.
Okay.
Bernhard, aye.
Barbara, I.
Gray, aye.
Millinger, aye.
and Stockton, and happy Thanksgiving.
Same to everybody.
Jeanette, how was your program? How was your library
Barbara.
program?
Oh, good. Martha actually came at the last minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, what,
Uh-huh.
2, 4, 6,
Okay.
8.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm leaving now. Janice, your co-host, you can close it down, okay?
So how do
Okay.
I close it down? Just
click
leave?
and
I
you
think-
stop recording.
Okay, say that again, because you kind of broke up.
You stop recording.
Okay, I can see pause. Stop recording. I see it, and then I just leave.
And then you also end, and it will say if you're ending for all.
Oh, and, oh, yeah.
End is that red button down the right-hand corner.
It says leave on my computer.
Okay. Okay.
Leave meeting. Okay, good luck. Wish me
Well-
luck here.
We'll all leave
luck.
anyway.
Okay, everybody's leaving. Oh, sugar. Okay, sign in.